second order effects. So what is the next effect? What we see is the body effect. Now, what is the body effect that we are talking about? The bulk. So what are all the connections connected to the bulk over here? So the connections connected to the bulk are the source to bulk capacitance, drain to bulk capacitance, gate to bulk capacitance, the source to bulk resistance. So these are all the four parameters which are very small but definitely present, where you can bias, where you can affect the system in its operation. You will be using this one excessively when you are working with ultra low power or ultra low power designs, where you're going to do sub threshold based designs. That is we will talk about in the next session, next few slides. So in a discrete circuit there is no body effect because the body is connected to the surge terminal at all times. So in integrated circuit there will be thousands and millions of MOSFET source terminals and there is only one body, silicon substrate. Thus, if we were to tie the MOSFET source terminals to the single body terminal, we would be connecting all MOSFETs to each other. What does this mean? Let me bring up the paint window again and quickly transfer to that. Okay, let me just share my desktop. Meanwhile, we can use that. So for example, let us draw simple differential pair with both NMOS and PMOS. So these two are the NMOS devices, with the tail current also being the bottom device also being the NMOS device. Okay, on the top it is going to be PMOS device. Pardon the drawing, I am not able to draw this very neatly. Just for illustration purpose I am using this here. So there is a body bias connection over here for each one of these devices. Now in this particular case, here if you observe, for this bottom device the source is at ground, so you will place it at ground itself. But in integrated circuit here, for the differential or for the differential pair that is here, if you connect it to the source of this device, you are basically connecting it to this node, which is a drain of this device. This is physically not possible if you do it here, because this P substrate is now sitting common to all these devices. The moment you connect one of the P substrate to ground, rest are all going to connect to P substrate of that ground itself. So that is the reason you have a source to bulk voltage difference will be present if you do it here. Now if you want to utilize this body effect into your circuit design, then you will have to place these devices in a separate well with its own P sub. Okay, so then you can utilize this body bulk, because this body bulk then can be connected to a separate device for body biasing. Now if you end up using the same body bias for both these cases, and if you want to connect all the body biases of the NMOS in the P substrate to the common one, then you have to connect it to the ground. So when you connect to the ground, all the substrates, all the bodies of the devices are connected to the substrate. So connected to the lowest potential in the device, so which is going to be your VSS or your ground. So what happens in that case? This particular factor comes in a place called your VSB becomes 0. In this particular case, your VSB is not 0. There will be a finite value in both cases. So Now, how do you utilize the body effect in these two conditions is what we are going to check. So this would be, I would say, case 1. And this would be case 2. So when you're doing sub-threshold design, this is, let me say this, you would use this in threshold design, and it is basically used to reduce the threshold voltage. This is what you will do here, so that you can vary the threshold voltage and get it. How we will do it, we will talk in the next session. This is the typical case which generally is used in IC design. Typical case where generally it is followed. Okay, so this is going to be the body bias. So how is that? For integrated circuits, MOS source terminals are not connected to the substrate body. Okay, so you will not have your source terminal connection. You will always have your body terminal connected to the ground. So what do you mean by source terminal as this connectivity? Here, since it is common, you can use it, but in these particular conditions, you cannot make it implicit. Likewise, in the PMOS, you would connect it to the VDD. In this particular case, it makes sense. You can directly connect to the VDD. But what happens if you have another device, somehow, or bias circuits, something sitting here? If you sit a bias sitting here, and then it is connected to these devices. This is only hypothetical. Okay. In this condition also you can then put, because you have connected one terminal, your source is connected to the ground. But what happens when your source terminal is not connected like this and it is connected here? If this is connected here, then this terminal should be connected all the way up to here. You cannot connect it to this source terminal likewise. So these are the two conditions that we are going to discuss in further, and how it is impacting the device operation. So what will happen is the substrate is connected to the most negative power supply for PMOS, thus achieving the desired functionality from the device. And for PMOS, it is connected to the most positive power supply for the PMOS. In such a scenario, what happens if the bulk voltage drops below the source voltage? What is it called? VSB. The source. Now the word VSB is not necessarily equal to 0. In that case, we will get a 4-terminal device. So like what I was mentioning here, when you connect this terminal, so apart from the regular 1, 2, 3, this will have the 4th terminal when it is not connected to 0. So this is the other terminal which is available. So there are many ramifications of this body effect. Perhaps the most significant is with regards to the threshold voltage. So let's go and see what happens to threshold voltage. So to understand, let us assume the source, drain and the bulk voltage are all at 0, and your VG is less than VT. So a depletion layer will be formed, or a depletion region will be formed, but an inversion layer will not be there. In that particular condition, as VB becomes more negative, more holes get attracted to the substrate, which leaves a larger negative charge behind. As a result, the depletion region becomes wider. This wider depletion region leads to increase in the threshold voltage. How is that happening? It happens as follows. The zeta and phi f are MOSFET device parameters which are process independent. So phi f is basically the energy function of this device to find out what is happening, and I think gamma is the factor. I don't really recollect. Let me just come back and so what is gamma factor called as? Gamma is called the body effect coefficient, and it is given as square root of 2q, or q is the charge, multiplied by the epsilon of the silicon and the doping concentration over the oxide thickness. Typically, the value of q lies between 0.3 and 0.4 per square root volt that is happening. Okay, so that is the body effect coefficient, and Pf is the so I think it's called charge function.
Surface potential.
Surface potential. Not able to recollect.
Fermi potential.
I'll get back to that when I probably go. I might have done some marking elsewhere. Let me quickly have a look and share back to that. My mind is not allowing me to go forward without finding out that answer. Okay, with a lot of difficulty, I'll continue. I'll probably hit back in my mind later. It was called, I think, Fermi potential is what you said, or it was the energy gap potential or something. I'll come back to that when I get my mind to it. Fermi potential might be the answer. I'm not. I'll let you confirm later. So, what does this equation say? The equation says there is a Vt. The Vt is also a function of two variables. The first one is there is a constant Vt naught, which is temperature dependent. The other one, the function is a variable of the Pf, or the Fermi potential for here, and the Vsp. So what does the two terms within the bracket shows? Phi f plus Vsp minus 2Vf. So that means as you increase the source to bulk potential, you will actually have an additive factor present in your threshold voltage. So how does that play in the scenario? Note that the Vt naught is the value of the threshold voltage when Vsp is 0. The value is simply the value of the device parameter that we have been calling up to threshold without any body effect. What happens when you add the body effect? When you add the body effect, you will see the value going upwards in an NMOS threshold voltage, that is also depending upon the substrate doping, and you will also see in the PMOS the threshold voltage going negative with regards to again the substrate doping. So these are the two common questions which again can be asked in interviews, or I have seen the second question being asked mostly in the high-speed design. Is body effect desirable or undesirable? I would use body effect in the substrate sub-threshold operations. It would be beneficial, and there is some way I can control. So the control is again process dependent. If a particular process allows, you can use it. So that is how we will do. So what happens when we do that? So let us check the sensitivity of IDS to VSP. So what is that? Then there is a new factor comes in to call your GM with respect to the body effect. So GMB is mu n Cox omega by W by L, VGS minus VT naught multiplied by delta VT by delta VBS. So where are we getting this delta VT to delta VBS? We're getting it from the previous equation. This particular equation in green. So if you take a partial fraction of this factor, you will understand what is delta VSP over delta VDS. It will come up. Delta VBS will come from that. So for this particular equation in green, if you take a partial differential equation to partially differentiate with respect to VSP, so delta VT over delta VSB is equal to, so VT naught is not there, so that will not be responsible, plus gamma is there, so gamma will constantly be there, so partial differential of the equation in the bracket, square root of phi SF plus VSB. So if you apply 1 plus square root of ASB square root, so you will get 1 over 3 by 2 3 by 2 VSP into, square 2πf plus VSB whole to the power of 3 by 2 into gamma is what you will get the factor. The second factor will go away because there is no VSB term there. So you will end up effectively with this equation here. One thing you would like to observe that when your VT naught is at 0 SP potential, it is effectively your GM itself. So your GMB is a factor of your GM, and is directly dependent on the delta VT that is going to operate. So how do you proceed for this further? This amount of math, okay. Delta VT by delta VBS is equal to minus of delta VT by delta VSB. You are changing the potential. So when that in place, it is going to be minus gamma by 2, and the way it is written is square root of S by A is when you take a delta VT, you will get 1 over square root. So that 1 over square root is represented as minus. So 1 over factor is given as minus half. So when you simplify this, delta VT by VBS is half delta VSB. So this factor becomes a positive value. And when you substitute this into the above equation, GM factor remains, and your delta VT factor comes into place, gamma by 2 divided by square root of 2πf plus VSB. Now this factor is called eta GM, where eta is given by GM by GMB by GM. So GMB by GM is equal to eta divided by 2 times square root of 2πf plus VSB. Now, what is this factor? How does it affect us? These values 1 by 3, 1 by 4 are there. We will not go into how this 1 by 3, 1 by 4 has got, or I'll probably tell it in a relevant section later. So this basically comes in from the factor which is dependent on the bias voltage. So if your VSB is 0, right, then the gamma factor and Pf are both the device characteristics. So if you take what are the standard values of gamma and what are the standard values of If, you will typically end up with 1 over 3. Now when you add VSB into the picture and you sweep VSB across your range, that range becomes from 1 by 3 to 1 by 4 is where it will reach. So that is how this empirically derived formula has come. Okay. So what are the effects of this one? The body effect has the potential to alter the transconductance and therefore impact the device performance adversely. But when does this come into the picture? This comes into the picture only when your VSB is active. If VSB is not active anywhere, you don't have to worry about the GMB factor at all. Otherwise, when we do the small signal modeling, we will discuss about GMB of a transistor also in that place. Next, like what we said, body effect is relatively insignificant. So we will, in most cases, we can ignore the body effect. However, we cannot always conclude that it is insignificant. It has a lot of tremendous impact on MOSFET circuit performance. So where does this circuit performance come into the picture is when there is a temperature dependence in your system. So where do you have temperature dependence? The circuits you will encounter temperature dependence are your VGR, where it varies with temperature, so you need to make it temperature independent. That is how you utilize your PTAT and CTAT voltages will come up from there. Another place you will find that extremely useful is in the matching network for your LNA and power amplifiers, because that is also temperature and process dependent. And that is something that you have to see that your matching network is stable across temperatures. In the low noise amplifier itself, to understand how much of a noise it is going to pick up, which is the temperature dependent noise or your flicker noise or your resistive noise, that is also will be there. Another place where it definitely affects is your power amplifier, when you have something called power added efficiency, PAE. This PAE will vary with temperature. So the main factor which affects the PAE in this temperature is your VSP. Even though you are not connecting it to your drain voltage, there is some amount of impact that your VT will affect with regards to just the temperature and the Fermi potential. So these are all the places where you will see the body effect coming into picture. But like I said, like it is there, you will actually have certain conditions on which it is going to get significant only. So for example, next we will see what is the subthreshold conduction. So any doubts that you have with body effect, because we're going to the next section.
So the practical application you are saying is, so it can be, so as we have to maintain in subthreshold region, so VJ should be around VTH. So that is one thing. So, and to maintain this VTH constant, PTAD bias should be maintained.
You will have to maintain PTAD bias, right?
Yeah. Okay. So
you have to.
What is that, sir? What bias is that?